you please tell us about the Liberal Party, the Democrats?
Well, I think we always have this sort of response when there's one party in rule through the presidency, and the opposition comes up with changes, possibilities to look at the issues more in a different way, right? And I think that's what's interesting about the platform.
Who is the opposition to the ruling party?
In this case, it's the Democratic Party, but I think that it has a broad spectrum. So we're going to try to focus on one part of that spectrum.
You're the expert. Please do tell. The different parts of the Democratic Party, the different factions.
Correct. So there's the progressive faction that tends to be more extreme. What it really boils down to is going for broke on something like Medicare for all or radical change. And I don't think that represents the center of the opposition, or liberal as you call it.
Liberal or Democrats. So there's the far left progressive faction of the Democratic Party, and there's also the more moderate aspect of the Democratic Party, i.e. who's running for President Joe Biden compared to AOC and Bernie Sanders and such, the full-on progressive.
Yeah, I think what's happening there, for instance, is that contrary to something like Medicare for All, we have the idea of expanding Affordable Care Act to include more people, but to keep it a public-private effort as it has been in the past, and to avoid a complete takeover of that program by the public sector, by the government. All
of them agree pretty much that they hate Donald Trump. Would you agree?
Well, I think there's criticism, certainly, of the current administration.
To put it mildly, coronavirus, the economy, Medicare for all, the hate of Donald Trump is what is going to win the election for the Democrats more than any other issue, I would think. That's my viewpoint anyway. Do you have any more detail to add between the differences between the progressive and the moderate aspect of your party?
I think part of it is a difference in values and goals. A more centrist approach to the Democratic Party may look at trying to improve some things rather than completely change them. We're not defunding the police, for instance. We're talking about getting better training for police and avoiding prejudice and discrimination. You know, that would be an example.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you bring up the police, and you have in previous conversations with me also. The Democratic Party in the media has not even discussed the police and law and order. They've completely avoided the issue in the 2020 election for the last month, right through the convention, and only after the conventions has the Democratic Party been addressing the police and law and order. The big call was to defund the police, but it's nice to see that it's on the agenda now.
An extremist position would be defund the police. A moderate position or a centrist position would be to talk about supporting the police and giving them the kind of training and the kind of help that they need.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. Do you think you could please share the general platform for the Democratic Party?
Yes, I think that it's an invitation to a different kind of problem solving and leadership, to say that we're going to coordinate with our allies, for instance, on global climate change mitigation, on handling the pandemic, on effective measures to improve trade. You know, that would be an example.
8 to 10 plats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm handling each of the areas as plats, because I think that they do have they do say something about what the agenda really is of the at least the centrist aspect of the Democratic Party. You get things like making sure that we follow evidence-based science in medicine, in climate change and economic policy. And that's a value statement. That's a set of goals.
In earlier conversations with you, I understand that the Democratic platform would be moderate Democrats' platform. Need measures to deal with drought, periods of extreme heat, catastrophic fires, and storms that bring flooding. The use of renewable energies resources reduces gas emissions, which are heating our planet and will provide more jobs than continued mining and drilling. Join global efforts to deal with global problems. Train people without saddling them with years of debt. Pandemic policy premised on science and not economy. Expanded socialized healthcare systems such as Obamacare, ACA. Free choice when it comes to abortion. Employ able unemployed workers in government projects to improve infrastructure. Awareness of racism and prejudice. Move back into the Paris Climate Accord.
I think part of what we're needing is effective education for the kind of job skills that corporate America needs right now, that we need in the trades, we need it for teaching, for nursing, for many of the jobs that are available. And the emphasis on jobs that come through renewable resources, because we're losing jobs, whether we want to or not, in terms of fossil fuel industries. So that there's a real opportunity here to create more jobs and give people skills that will give them better paying jobs. Another area would be in not so much a socialized medicine, but more the extension of the public-private connection that the Affordable Care Act represented, because that was not Medicare for all. That was actually a way of continuing to use the current system of health insurance and simply expanding it to allow more people to be covered.
Another plat?
Yep, would be a reasonable visa program for the kind of jobs, the people that come to us from other countries who enhance our innovation and creativity, who expand the possibilities of research at our universities. All of that is certainly a part of the platform.
In this show, that we kind of gave a summary of the Democratic liberal platform.